SMMA is absolutely cooked. During the last few months, we've seen some of the biggest SMMA gurus, like Iman Gadzhi, for instance, come out with products and services and teaching programs and courses that have absolutely nothing to do with SMMA anymore, right? For instance, I think Iman Gadzhi came out with a course on how to become a closer, another one on how to become a copywriter. And, then he's coming out with a personal brand. He just launched the personal brand thing. So it's pretty obvious that, SMMA is absolutely cooked. It's dying. Tai Lopez also, I just, saw a bunch of his ads. His ads popped up for me for some reason. Probably because I bought his course before. I bought his course like a long time ago when SMMA was actually a good thing that, people were actually making money from. And it was back then it was actually good. Like SMMA actually worked. And now it doesn't, right? But he just came out with an ad where he's talking about just like agency in general. So instead of doing SMMA, he's just talking about like doing agency in general now. And that's like he's mentioned like something about like a dating agency or like concierge agency for people that travel to different places. And it's just like, that stuff's been around for fucking 50 years. So that's your new opportunity? Like, oof, that's rough. And the reason he's doing it is because SMMA is cooked. SMMA is unbelievably competitive. There is hundreds and hundreds of these kids out there every single day starting these SMMAs. And these guys are hungry and they want to make it work. And it's not easy to make it work. It's actually quite difficult to make SMMA work right now. And you might be watching this and you've been experiencing it. You've been trying to make SMMA work and it just hasn't been working for you. And there's probably a reason for that. It's not because you aren't skilled enough. In some cases it is, but in many cases it's because it's just not a good business model anymore. And I'm going to tell you what I think you should do instead. I'm going to tell you what I've seen people having really good results with lately. Because I started back in the day with SMMA. I did SMMA back in the day. I also did like just services in general. I did SEO, SMMA services. And it worked back in the day, but it's not really working anymore unless you get really lucky or you're in a super hyper specific niche or something along those lines. So, I thought I'd just kind of throw you guys a bone and just tell you, from the top looking down, what's actually working right now. First of all, the problem with SMMA, let's talk about the problem with it. Not only is it mega saturated, how many people can target dentists? How many people can target plastic surgeons? Obviously there's not that many dentists or plastic surgeons. The plastic surgeon SMMA market is growing like 10x every year, and there's only like maybe 10% more plastic surgeons per year. So obviously that's not going to work. That's not going to be sustainable. So I think we already know that it's way too competitive. There's saturated, and we already know that. But the second thing that's a big problem with SMMA is people like to pretend that you can do anything as an agency, right? Anything can get done as an agency. People like to pretend that you can do anything done for you. And the reality is, most things out there cannot be done with purely done for you services. You can do part of the thing with done for you services, but at the end of the day, the person that you are serving has to do a significant amount of it. And anybody who's worked with, businesses where you're getting them leads, but they're in charge of the sales process, knows this. You could be getting them the best leads ever, but their sales process sucks balls, and you are not going to get them results, and it's not your fault. It's their fault, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's their fault because they're going to fire you anyways, and they're the ones who make the decisions, right? So they could. That's one massive problem. The truth is there's a lot of things that should be done for you. There's a lot of things that can be done with you, and then there's a lot of things that can be do it yourself. And if you look at the companies in the world that make the most money out of done with you, do it yourself, or done for you, it's done with you companies. Okay, so we're talking about McKinsey, we're talking about Bain Consulting, we're talking about consulting companies where they do it with you. Now, part of their offers in many cases are, do it yourself. Part of them are done for you, and then a lot of it is done with you, right? Because if the company could just do everything for you, like, hey, just build me a company, then why wouldn't they just go do that themselves? It doesn't make any sense, right? Absolutely doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
What in the world is that? Okay.
Like a bird pooping on my shoulder or something. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, so, but what's happening here, and this is something, I mean, you know what else is cooked besides SMMA is my email inbox. And I am constantly getting emails from these goofball kids who promise the world. And this is something that myself, a successful business owner, and my friends who are also successful business owners, we laugh about all the time, is how unbelievable the promises that people are giving are these days. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I get it. I understand why you guys are giving these ridiculous promises, but it's like everyone is over-promising, and the reason they're over-promising is because they're basically lying to their prospects. They're saying that we can do this thing for you, done for you, that can't be done for you. Part of it can be done for you, but not all of it. And so what you need to do if you are in an SMMA right now is you need to transition from done for you to done with you. Or what's even better is a hybrid offer that, like, whatever components make sense to do for you, they do for you. Whatever components don't make sense to do for you, but it makes sense for you to help them with it, so it would be done with you. And then whatever components you can just completely automate, and like maybe teach them, for instance, and just completely automate it, it's do it yourself, right? That is a sustainable, scalable offer where you're not lying to people. Now, one thing I help people do is, I have my YouTube channel that's got over 1 million subscribers, but I help other people grow and make money on YouTube, specifically busy business owners. That's what I do, is I help busy business owners grow and make money on YouTube. I help them do exactly what I did with my first YouTube channel. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten requests for people to, for me to like do an agency for them and do it for them. But the truth is, why would I do that? Why would I go through all the trouble of doing everything for them when I could just start my own channel and make 10 times more money with that same amount of time? Because I would just be making another channel. It doesn't make any sense logically. So what I do instead is I have a hybrid program where I teach them how to do part of it. I do part of it for them. Just as an example, I will hire the right people for them. I will literally, I will be the one who hires them, video editors, script writers, etc. And then there's a do-it-yourself component. There's a course component to it. And that gets the best results for people. That is what gets the best results, because inherently, if they're hiring like a YouTube agency, the agency is going to have to lie their ass off to them to get them to hire them, because if they're telling them the truth, they would be telling them that, hey, no, actually, we're going to do like maybe 50% of it for you, and the other 50% you still have to do. But that's not really good for selling, is it? It's not really good to sell people like that. And it also is going to set the wrong expectations, and then the person is not going to get results because of that. And we don't want that to happen, right? We don't want that to happen. And so what I really recommend that you do is, instead of trying to position your offer as an agency offer, position it as a hybrid offer where the parts that you can do for them, you do for them. And the parts that are important for you to do for them, you do for them. But the parts that you can't, don't pretend like you can. Like, try to automate stuff, try to, have good information for them, like SOPs for their team, that kind of thing. Like, that's what we do, is we literally just give them copies of our SOPs, the exact SOPs we use on our YouTube channel, and they can just copy and paste it into their business. So they get like an entire infrastructure, a system that they can copy and paste into their business. And then we have coaches to give them feedback. We go over their stuff, et cetera, and we have people that we can put in there and that can build out that system for them, right? But it's not done for you. It's actually much, much more valuable than done for you. It's kind of like a build and release type offer. And this is why we've had so much success. This is why we've gotten 17 people to 7 figures a year. I actually have to go back and count because I think it might be 18 or 19 now. And we've gotten 5 to 7 people. There's 2 people that are very close to 8 figures a year, okay? And nobody else is getting results like that. I promise you, no agencies are getting results like that, right? That can't happen because you're promising them that you can do something that you can't. So no agencies are getting results like that. And this is what I highly recommend for everyone. It's stop pretending like you can do something that you can't. The industry is evolving. It's getting more mature. And people, when you hear ridiculous, outlandish statements, they know that they're talking to a liar. And nobody wants to partner with a liar, okay? So, that's my advice to everyone in SMMA. Go to more of a hybrid model where you, for instance, if you were getting people leads with your SMMA, why don't you should do a done with you component to that where you teach them how to properly close those leads, right? Or potentially even close the leads yourself, right? But then have a done with you or do it yourself component that teaches the other important parts about, everything about that niche. And so instead of just saying, hey, I'm going to get leads for the dentist niche, do a complete build and release where you just teach them every single step of the process, not just sending them leads and praying that they're going to be able to close on them, but teaching them every single step of the process, how to follow up with the leads, how to set up the CRM for that, how to do this, how to do XYZ. That is incredibly valuable. All right. So that's my 2 cents on that subject. If you do want to work with me, I help busy business owners get to 100K per month on YouTube, usually selling their products and services, and also, get a good amount of views and get all the benefits of growing on YouTube. That's what I do. I love doing it. I've done it myself. I've helped a ton of other people do it. I've got a ridiculous amount of testimonials at this point. So if you're interested in doing that yourself, we only work with business owners, people who are already, doing really well and they want to do even better. But go ahead and apply with the link down in the description and the pinned comment below. And watch my other videos. I'll put them right here. Take care.